there's a few ways this bottle can speak to you. It can speak to you in the balanced energetics, or it can speak to you in the ways that you may be out of balance. So we're going to go over both of those today. And the bottle that was revealed is this beautiful blue and orange actually bottle. It's bottle number 72. The clown bottle. It's the clown bottle in sense, because it is sharing the insights in the depth of who you are and communicating that and sharing that when we're balanced. Now, the opposite of what this bottle is telling us is the orange actually can be a shock and, well, it is a shock and trauma color. And the shock and trauma of communicating your truth. So this is where the mask comes into play, where we can be putting on a mask and being like a clown. So this is where the Aura-Soma card that matches this bottle comes in really handy to tie this in. And you can see this is the colors on the back, the orange and the blue. Hi, Natasha. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get into why this is the clown. And you can see that he has a juggling act going on. This is so crazy. It's all reversed. But he's got a juggling act going on. He's putting on a show. So sometimes when we have the shock and trauma, which is the orange, of communicating our truth, especially that spiritual truth, the core truth of who we are, there's shock and trauma. We've been persecuted for it, or we've been hurt for it, or we've been made fun of for it. So what we do is we put on a mask and we put on a show, and we can cover up the truth by being the jokester, by being this clown that has this act. And the reason that you do that typically a clown does that, is because they're actually really fucking sad on the inside. They're really so sad on the inside. Why? Because they're not really truly communicating their bliss, their truth, everything that they are from the depths of who they are. So you're really sad because you're just putting on an act, and you're juggling, and you're putting on a show for everyone. And that over time eats at you and does make you extremely sad. How do I know that? Because I did that. This bottle is the first bottle I ever worked with Aura-Soma. When I had my first consult, this bottle came through, and I cried when I learned what it was. It moved me, and it was calling out something that I had been hiding for a long time. The act, the humor I would use to cover up the sadness in my life. And there's a lot of comedians that actually are very depressed because they use the humor to cover up their sadness, because they don't want to bring people down. They want to keep it up, and it's just too hard to juggle that forever. One of the balls are going to drop, and that's a lot of pressure. So this is telling us if you're communicating your true bliss and speaking your truth, then you're feeling confident about that. You've healed the trauma and the shock of sharing that spiritual truth, and you're sharing from the insights, and you're letting that true bliss come out. You're letting it come out without the barrier of the clown that almost waters down who you are, right? The clown act to cover up the truth. It's something to entertain, and so people don't see that trueness of who you are. And when we come balanced with that, we let that bliss just spill out. And yeah, it's humor, it's fun, it's belonging in ourselves, and it comes out naturally. We can communicate that naturally, and we don't have to worry about all the acts that we're juggling, because we're just ourselves. And we don't have to worry about when one of them falls, when something fails, that we don't have to put on a show or make a joke out of it. Do you know how we can do that sometimes defensively when something happens, or you're afraid of something, and you always just make a joke out of something to lighten the load or water the tension down, instead of allowing yourself going into that healing phase of feeling something, or letting the failure actually teach you. We put a joke on just to soften it. So this is reminding you not to do that. This is reminding you to take off the masks that you're wearing to hide who you truly are, and what are you using in your life to prevent that true bliss to come out. Why are you not letting that true bliss of who you are come out and speak from that place? this really speaks to me because I have this huge fear, y'all, this really huge fear of communicating my bliss. I feel like I need to water it down. And hence that's where my jokester would come in, you know, like just not so serious all the time. I have this huge fear of communicating that and letting that out. And that's why I love that this bottle came through, because this is something that I've been always working on, and just letting go of the fear of the trauma that comes with of communicating your true self. So that's what this bottle is telling you all to pay attention to. So look within, see how this feels. Are you wearing masks? Are you putting on an act, juggling all these balls? How many things do you have going in your life that's distracting you from the truth of who you are, the blue, and that deep insight that you have? You can't connect if you're constantly juggling all these acts. You've got to let them go and take off the mask to be your true self, and just let the bliss, like when you do that, there is pure bliss that comes out of you. You can't stop it. And that's the reward when we take the mask off. So this is where I want to leave you with. See how this feels in your life. What can you do this week to be mindful of what you might be juggling, or when you're covering up, or when you have that mask and you're putting on an act? Be mindful and just recognize it, sit with it, and then shift. Come back home to the truth and just keep doing that as you go along. So thank you, ladies, for tuning in, and let me know your insights of what this feels like for you. I'd love to hear your experiences, and I just hope that you take time for yourself to connect. Let that bliss come out. Have a wonderful week. I will be in throughout, off and on, and I will look forward to also Friday when we do another training thing. Okay, bye.